Hey, y'all, how you doing? Hope everyone is doing good. Gotta grab something real quick that I forgot to grab. Give me a moment here. There we go. So, hey, Slayer, Adrian, Kathy, we're gonna wait until a few people file in here. We're gonna have a couple different discussions today. If you guys didn't know, we actually had an 8-minute skit go. Oh wow, that did not do nearly as well as I was hoping it did. Let's talk metrics today when it comes to talking about skits. A lot of people, when they look at videos, they think in the view count, and that is true. View count is huge. It's definitely a huge metric, especially when you want it to be pushed. Slayer 186, one of the few times. Well, we've got a package to open, and I have an idea of who it is. Robert, I did see it. I need to find a clip of it and possibly do a video of it. Those who saw my morning stream know that I popped off early because I got a phone call, and still not going to talk about it on live yet.
Mute.
What? My kiddo about to spill the beans without even having the whole thing. No video. Do I need to re-upload? No, I need to figure out how I'm going to get the video of stuff. But no, I had received a phone call, so I'm not feeling the funny in order to record, sadly. I had an idea when I did see it, and I wrote the idea down, basically me yelling at Stitch, and using that clip to just have a little bit of fun. It won't be included in any way into what we're doing, but it is pretty awesome. So we are going to do this. Nice haircut, thank you. I did it myself. I have a trimmer for the cats, and I cleaned it, of course. And I just used that because it like has a vacuum attachment to it. You guys remember the Flowbee? Basically that. No, the male was perfectly fine. This is I know what it's going to be, but we're definitely going to have some feels with this. But I want to mention, like, you guys are free to mail any more Chris stuff. We have our PO boxes. I think Chris still has the package inside of the package. Did you see the new tabletop war game? I have not. Not another thing written on this one. Is there anything in here? That's this. Making sure this isn't being seen. By the wrong angle. Okay. So this. What's popping? We are about to do this. We're about to open this up. So yeah, no, the phone call does not have me in the giggly mood. And I figured since I'm already not in the giggly mood, let's open up a piece of mail it's gonna be, I know what it is. And I want to see it. Oh, it opened it upside down.
Okay.
No, that's a good thing. That's a lot of tape. Okay. Beloved kitty whiskers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's what you think it is. So we're gonna, those who don't know, The cat that used to sit up here on a lot of my streams, a lot of my videos. The gray kitty. She passed away last month due to complications. So that hurt. Also, another reason I'm not fun. I don't feel in the funnies. I did my taxes today, and that was not fun. You're right. Taxes are never fun. I think this has magnets on it too. So that's interesting, where the magnets are placed. Trying to get this open here. And I think there's like, I think this is in 2 parts. This is really interesting how Slayer packed this. Trying to. Where does that piece of tape go? Huh, there we go. Aha, found it. And there's some Zelda something. All right. We have defeated a piece of tape, and we have a little ribbon. No, get it. We have another piece of tape to defeat. It's okay, Slayer. It's all right. No, what's underneath? No, that's not. It's like a puzzle of trying to figure out. Aha! Yep. Okay. That's yours. It's some, I think these are the amiibo cards. So, because you have the Switch now, you can actually pull up the characters. Oh, look at that. Is that Ganondorf? Ganondorf right off the bat. Hey. So it's like little art cards that you can like put on the Switch, and it'll register the NFC on them. Is that a little stand, or is that, what is it? Okay, that's been released. There we go. All right. We've freed the tape confines of this. We got a little box in here. My mom had her last 2 pets in tins. Whiskers is on the mantle with Harvest. Those who may not know Harvest was the orange kitty that's in some of my really old videos. She passed away just 2 years ago as well. So I have lost 2 cats, both service pets, in 2 years. Oh, that's pretty. Look at that. And she has her little cape on it. So like a computer or something. Little statue of stretching. And then so Slayer asked for photos of Whiskers. And this is why. You guys can't see how rich the colors are. So adjust that a little bit. That is 100%. Slayer, did you put a protective layer on this already? Like, did you spray a protective layer on it? If not, I'll do that before I take it upstairs. All right, so I'll probably do it. I'll have to do another layer, but it's safe enough to take upstairs. You want to see the picture? She'll go up by the mantle along with the. I'm gonna keep this one down here for now, because I can just put her right here, and I'll put the rest up, and I'll have it go upstairs. We'll cover this back up like this. So, thank you. Yeah, so I have a sealant that's good for like spray paint art, which means it's good for like acrylic and a bunch of other stuff as well. So we're almost regardless of what you use, I can seal it. What's up, Robert? Oh, the PO box. Yeah. But it's been a day. So I received a phone call that had me. I needed to talk with my spouse and share my feelings with them so that they could help me process the news I had received and kind of discuss what we wanted to do about it. And then process that as much as I can. Still not going to share it yet. I might talk to Chris later. Had a friend of mine. It's on the different political spectrum that I really love to talk to and show where I'm coming from, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Or if it will, I don't know. And it always sucks to lose a friend over something like politics. So I really hope that that's not going to be the case. And then filing taxes. I thought I had something good, and then I finished putting all the information in, and because of how things work with disability, along with a few other tax changes that have happened since Trump has taken office, we're getting the lowest tax refund we've ever gotten. And that hurts. Like, thankfully, thanks to you guys, it's not going to hurt as much, but it would have been really helpful. And I'm closing the GoFundMe on the 15th. So not even going to have a backup there. But it's a good thing that we're closing it, because it's about time to close it out. So it's just kind of a bittersweet thing, because you guys have been really helpful through some really hard times. A bunch of people at my spouse's job, a bunch of people quit. And so my spouse got a bunch of extra hours, and it's looking like they're going to be good for at least the next month or so. So that's good. We'll be able to recover some of the stuff that we've had to deal with. So that's a good thing. It's true. She will be. This picture, after I get done sealing it, I don't know when. I really don't know when. But after I get done sealing it, I also need to make something for the mantle with the family, because what we did with Harvest is we painted something, all of us together, and we kind of want to do that same thing for Whiskers, where we all do something together and add a little bit of our own thing, and then that will go up on the mantle. And this will probably go up somewhere behind me, probably up here, because that's Harvest. That Slayer painted right there. That logo that my spouse made. That then Slayer. I believe that's you, Slayer, or is that? Yeah. That's based off of Harvest. She became the logo for our Cosmic Kitties business. And Whiskers will go up there right next to Harvest. So. Robert, you are free to make me one, but I will say this. I think one is good. I don't know where I'd put a bunch of photos that are hand drawn by the fans other than like on this side of the wall. But you are free if she meant that much to you. I know why Slayer did this. So for those of you who don't know, this little green scarf that she's wearing was also made by them, and Whiskers absolutely loved that scarf. Absolutely loved it. She hated not being able to wear it. She couldn't wear it for the longest time because of all of her health issues. And then we lost it during the move temporarily. And we found it just shortly after she passed away. And I'm kind of happy that she didn't pass away in it, because I would have felt the need to have cremated her with it. We didn't have her cremated with any clothes or anything. Harvest passed away. She got cremated with a shirt of mine, as she passed away on the shirt, and I just couldn't wear that shirt anymore. I wrapped her up in it, and she's cremated with it. So part of the ashes is part shirt. I'm just saying. It's okay, Melanie. It's just been a day that the funny isn't happening today. I've got stuff done though. That's a good thing. I felt able to write and edit. I just don't feel up to filming. I don't feel like forcing myself to laugh at things I don't want to laugh at. I don't feel up to doing a drama video. I'm not at a state of mind where I want to lower myself any lower than what I already am. So, Captain Jack Sparrow. And thank you guys for popping over onto Twitch. And yeah, thank you guys for that. We need people over there so we can get the view time and everything like that. So what happened to the subscribe button on Twitch? Should be good over there. Like, we're not monetized though. Should be over there. We got 72 followers. Stream 8 hours per month. Average three concurrent viewers. That's the one we're struggling with. Right now we're at 1.7. So path to affiliate. We just need path to partner. We need 75 viewers. We've built a community. We've begun the stuff. It's just a matter of knocking the stuff out. So we need more viewers over on Twitch. So if you got a Twitch account and you want to pop over there, please go ahead and pop over there. Here's the thing. We get affiliate over there. We can work on getting partner. And now that we can stream in multiple places at the same time, one of the big things that's going to happen is we'll start doing gaming streams over there. Levi subscribes what I pay. I'm trying. It's okay. You can't. It's not available yet. We're close. We're very, very close. So in 26.38 hours, we got 1.7. So I basically have to stream and have you guys over there often enough that it builds up over time. And that same thing has to happen on partner, which we've met 2 of the metrics in partner, but we need an average of 75 viewers, which means we need 30, 40 people, or at least 10 to 15, depends on how much I'm streaming. It needs to be split up between 75. It needs to equal that. 75 viewers needs to be equaled out. And that can be really hard when you're doing streams like ours. But we have enough of a fan base that you guys, if you guys pop over there, we can get you on our Twitch chat. Is so much easier to tag people. It is. And I need to work on getting the bots. And the more of you guys that are over on Twitch that I know that are active in the regular stream as well, if you tell me, I was like, hey, Levi, this is this person, and you pop over and you verify and everything, I can also turn you into a mod eventually. A lot of the tools I don't have. They're not working currently. That is the sad thing. So yeah. I have notifications set up when we go live. At least it's supposed to be. If you go to, the problem is that there's a lot of excess chatter, honestly, in the Discord chat that probably shouldn't be there. Like the announcements, we need to have. I need to have a discussion with Chris, and we need to then have a discussion with admins, and then move forward from there, because we're having issues of people not being able to use Discord the way that it's supposed to be used. And now that we have full control over it, that's what we need to do. Captain Jack, all right, have a good dinner. Getting to affiliate is tough. It's, we have an audience. We just need to go live, set up the tools, start doing the things to do, and then promoting it. The big thing is promoting it. But once we have partner and affiliate and everything, all that stuff set up, we'll be good to go. The main thing is going live, enough times that you're bringing in that audience and having that audience chat over there. So I think it's in videos and etc. Yeah, videos, etc. And here's the thing: if I'm live on YouTube, I guarantee you we're live on Twitch. That's another thing. And you'll get notifications from Twitch anyways. So yeah, in the Discord, you should be able to get notification settings. I have it set to only mentions, but if you go to the videos and etc. of the Discord area and then go to notifications and then put all messages for that particular part of the server, you'll get notified every time a video drops on our channel. Every time a video drops, every time we go live, all that stuff. Yeah, and the breakfast stream is still live. I'm leaving it live. So here's what I'll say to that too is I am struggling with my notifications and getting my packages. So if you guys send us something or send me something, let me know in a live stream in Discord or something like that. Tag me in Discord saying, hey, I'm sending you a package so I can keep an eye out on it. If something's going to arrive by the 21st, I need to know. I need to contact my landlord, and because there's like an address issue thing that's going on, I need to contact the post office and be like, hey, I've got some weird things going on with my P.O. box. I got some weird things going on with my physical address. What's going on? So I wouldn't say, yeah, because to the P.O. box is not that big of a deal. The thing about Amazon, though, it's really weird. Sometimes they'll deliver it correctly, and sometimes they won't. Slayer knows all about that. We have dealt with a whole slew of issues. Do you have it registered as just Levi or do you have it set to Levi at villain support, or what do you have it at? Because like it should be like I should get it if it says Levi. I'm not even gonna worry about that. If it comes up, I'll address it. But for the most part, you don't see the long hair behind here when I turn, but it's not, you're not going to notice it. Most people are not paying attention to how much hair I have flowing back here. And for those that are wondering, why did I shave it all off like this? There are two reasons why. One, I have a sensory issue. I'm on the spectrum. One of my things is sensory, and I hate how long hair feels. So I was actually hating how long it gets, and I get really thick hair, especially on the sides and everything. This is thinned out. It's growing back, which is nice, but this is thinned out. But all along here gets super thick. So it's nice to run my hand through. Not so nice to deal with in any other way if it gets too long and too thick and everything. Absolutely. Woke up bald, and it was because of, yeah, we could totally do a skit where Napa I'm like and Napa is like pulls off just and I wake up just run after Napa. Oh, I should have kept the hair. I should have kept it just for that. Oh goodness, today's been a day. At least my taxes are done. There's that. I don't have to worry about them now. I've got the script for Stitch 40K fixed, written out, and in like proper script form, like the scenes, transitions, and all that stuff. So like when I go to edit it, it'll be really easy for me to edit. I just need to send Chris. Yeah, I should do that now. Actually, send Chris the. One second, everyone. Give me a minute. No, I don't want that. Chris doesn't need my taxes, damn it. All right. So I sent Chris the voice acting. So this skit is mostly with Chris character John and Napa, and then you get a little bit of me. Yeah. But how many people here saw? Oh, wow, we got 51 people in the chat. How many of? We've got 8 people over on Twitch. We got 33 on YouTube, 1 on Cosmic. Thank you for the person that's on Cosmic. 3 on Facebook. What's popping? We're sitting here, we're chatting for a little bit, and I'm gonna be live for at least an hour. This one isn't gonna go to members only. Wheeling Dragon, that's awesome. Thank you so much for all those that are over on Twitch. Thank you. We're trying to get that monetized and do more with that, because that'd be another source of income, which would then move forward and allow us to do more things. So who here saw the skit that dropped today? Now again, I want to talk about this, but I'm going to be talking about it more from kind of like an aspect with you guys, and then as an editor and somebody that makes videos, right? Somebody who's looking at the metrics of a video that I may not know very well. And that would be the Count Strahd von Zarovich wants a castle upgrade slash so this is pretty cool. Strahd von Dark Lord or Diva. So Chris, that's awesome. Let's start with this. Title versus thumbnail. Title. You're gonna go die. Can you? Oops! Look what I just started. You got told no dying, kid. You got a drink. Take a drink.
Really can't.
Reset your thing. It's weird. If you're coughing a lot, if you're able to take a drink without coughing, you can actually like reset your diaphragm. It's really weird. You just got to be like not coughing when you go to take a drink. Otherwise, you're coughing and it'll go into the lungs. Yeah. Yeah, burp. There it goes, more coughing. Sit up. Sit up. Kiddo's okay. They're just, I don't know what's going on. Okay, let's rewind and talk about the video. So, the video that dropped, I'm going to send you upstairs. So the Strahd von Zarovich, Dark Lord or Diva. I mentioned to Chris that I've had success with making the thumbnail title different from the actual title of the video, and so he's testing that out a little bit. But like when I watched the video, I had a few problems with it. And I've talked about this before, where the way I told them wasn't the greatest because I wasn't exactly in the best mindset. But basically, I couldn't give a decent level of feedback because I didn't know the material and the other person in the skit. I didn't know their material. So like I had this video that I have very little context to that I'm trying to watch, but I'm not enjoying it. As a fan, I want to sit there and try to enjoy it. And so when it went live during the premiere, I sat and watched it, and there is a lot of good in this video. Be aware. Yeah, we just went through it. We're pretty sure we just went through it. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There were parts that were hilarious in that video. You want me to show you the parts? I mean, we can go over and do that. That's not an issue. So let's do that. Okay. So,
Joe, it is I, Strahd von Zarovich.
Are you finally making a purchase today, Strahd?
Potentially, but unlikely.
You've rejected everything in our catalog, Strahd. It's 3,700 plus pages, over 7,000 items. Then R&D got to work on the custom items and spent weeks.
So right here is a point of issue with me. You have 22 seconds of you need context to sit here, or you need to be a fan, right? Let's continue.
Spent weeks designing the Dew Spike fountain.
Running water, John.
And the Blackfire chandelier.
No.
So if we had started it, let's say you rejected everything.
You've rejected everything in our catalog, Strahd. It's 3,700 plus pages, over 7,000 items. Then R&D got to work on the custom items and spent weeks designing the Doom Spike fountain.
That means within the first 5 seconds, you're talking about Strahd. You don't know who you're talking about, but you've got this character in this interesting context. You're like, what's going on here? You spend another 5 seconds here. 10 seconds in, Doom Spike fountain.
Running water, John.
And the Blackfire chandelier.
No flames in the castle. They might singe the tapestries.
Strahd, they're magical flames, man. That there will be no damage to the castle.
Assurances mean nothing coming from you. Remember the gargoyles I bought with the lifetime guarantee? Crumbling 200 years later.
An average mortal lifetime, Strahd. Read your contracts.
We vampires may be monsters to some, but at least we are forthcoming about our nature. We've learned to make do with what we are, and without hiding behind hyperbole, false promise, and legalese.
What about the screen?
Right there. Also, like if you guys don't notice, like the volume's going up and down a lot. That's an issue for me as an editor. I would fix that. But this has been interesting so far, right? Like you start there. There hasn't been a moment that I want to turn away yet.
Dreamstone that I emailed you about on Tuesday. You like that one, right? The one that emits the sonic attack, that shatters eardrums and melts brains?
The tone, John.
The tone?
It clashes with my organ in the Grand Hall.
You're rejecting the Screaming Deathstone because it doesn't shriek in the right key?
I've cultivated the aesthetics of my castle.
Now, up to this point, it's been kind of funny to watch this. And with the voice acting, it helps out dramatically. But as somebody who doesn't understand the context, I'm starting to get bored of the constant back and forth. It's a little bit funny. It is. But it's the same joke. 1, 2, 3, 4... what we're up to 5 times. It started to lose me at this point. Yeah. But it's still funny in the aspect of this is a real world thing that people deal with. So if you've dealt with call center stuff, you're like, I kind of get where this is coming from. But from a skit point of view and wanting to keep people's attention, this may have been overkill as far as the amount of it, or it needed to be broken up and have the hype up to this video. Now, Chris wanted to put this video out first, and and then he's going to break it up and release it in parts. This is a way to test out if releasing the long form first and then breaking it up and having people just go to the long form that's already released is better, or the buildup. From past experience, before we had a big audience, it was the exact opposite. You know, we build up, we release this giant video, and then move from there.
And the grounds very carefully.
No one comes to your castle to admire the grounds or the architecture, Strahd, okay? They're only there to try and kill you.
I should be confident.
Now, I'm going to say this. If we started it roughly at the legalese comment, like the assurances mean nothing coming from you.
These mean nothing coming from you. Remember the gargoyles I bought with the lifetime guarantee? Crumbling 200 years later.
An
You start with that.
average mortal lifetime.
That's 40 seconds in.
Only there to try and kill you.
I should be confident that the uninvited visitors are dead without the sound of their deaths interrupting me.
Okay, look, I've got a contractor we can try. She's a genius at stuff like this.
Why wasn't she involved from the start?
She's super expensive.
Is her work worth it?
I don't say this lightly, Strahd. She is literally the best there is.
Now, the problem with this, and I don't know if this is like the difference in experience thing, is if I'm in customer service sales in particular, and I've got somebody else who can sell the same product as me, but I'm going to be dealing with them, I'm not going to want my customer talking to them if I'm going to be getting a commission out of this until I'm ready to transfer them to that person with the understanding that we're going to be getting a cut from this. I also wouldn't bring up this person and say these type of things. Now, Chris works in a different area in real life than I did. And that's something he would actually say. It was like, hey, I've got this thing and so on and so forth. So that's the difference in experience there. Somebody with acne or villain, I feel like this particular part of the scene could have been handled slightly differently. But I'm not entirely sure at the moment how we would have handled it. We would have had to discuss that.
A sense, a lingering, but
Yeah, we might owe her some money. Let me get her on the line, see if she'll even talk to me, okay? Just hold.
Also, telling a customer that you owe somebody else money probably wouldn't have been in there. I think that could have been scrapped right there and been like, I have somebody I can contact that might be able to solve our problems. Give me one moment. Let me put you on hold. Bam. Maybe 5 seconds of dialogue from you. Hold. Bam. Go right into this.
Hold on.
If you're calling for any reason other than to pay me the 3 million gold and 6 wyvern eggs that you owe me, then this conversation's already.
I forgot I wasn't muted. That's another thing. You hear the difference in the volume?
If you're calling for any reason other than to pay me.
For me as an editor, I look at that and go, that could have been slightly fixed. The fact that they're answering a phone from their headset right here, the camera's panned away, we don't need to hear an extra large volume. That should be at the same volume that John is at, the exact same across the board. Maybe Strahd would be slightly lowered until he's brought in. Another thing that could have been, let me bring in a third-party call, unless John had started it off as a third party, which is kind of the context that we get throughout the call. We learn that John made the quote-unquote mistake of making it a three-party call right off the bat.
Me the 3 million gold and 6 wyvern eggs that you owe me, then this conversation's already over.
Diana, we agreed on 1 million and 2 eggs. I can't approve the invoice.
This part right here doesn't bug me too much. It's not as necessary to the story as it feels. You could have backside it, transferred the entire conversation to, look, we can talk about that a different time. I've got something here, right? And then that would have been a little tidbit that goes, hey, I want to learn that. And then we could have done a video later on versus explaining it here. And with how long it takes from that call, from here onward.
That you submitted.
That price was quoted for a 2-week turnaround. You took the quote and then you requested a rush job that doubles the cost.
That would be 2 million and 4 eggs. I already told you I could approve that. You're trying to charge triple.
That's because I need 24/7 security now that Bahamut wants my head on a platter. That's another 1 million gold and then 2 more eggs.
We shouldn't have to pay extra just because your weapon didn't take him out.
Ugh, John, your client's request was for a weapon that could kill a dragon. If you had told me up front that my weapon was going to be used to try and kill a dragon god, my weapon would damn well have killed said dragon god.
I pay you 19 million gold.
And I understand that this is the line where we find out that Strahd is on the line as well. That could have still been something. But this is a good 30 seconds of dialogue that could have been cut. And then if you add that to the 20 to 30 seconds you could have cut at the start, that's an entire minute of skit that you could have cut down and made flow a little bit better. But again, this is coming from an editor standpoint. This is coming from somebody that doesn't have context. I'm not entirely sure if this is necessary to tell this story. So that's my thing. So he never left. That's the thing. And again, yeah, this is the thing. There's people who like it the way it is. Again, yeah, it feels like two different skits that are mashed together. But again, it's depending on who is watching it, which is why I'm kind of enjoying this discussion on it, because I don't get to do that very often, because most of the time I'm not sitting there in the same seat that everyone else is. I know the context behind everything. I know why. I get to sit here from an editor standpoint, as a storytelling standpoint, and as a fan. Whereas most of the time I'm like, I'm also the creator of this. So this is why we did this, versus being able to separate myself 100% and ask these questions. And yeah, I thought he was put on hold. Was he put on hold?
I'm not sure.
We might owe her money. Yeah, he effectively put him on hold. So that's a loop. That's a plot hole. It's a. Yeah, it is. It's exposition. It's too heavy of this. It could have been two separate skits, and then told in a better way, marinating the story together. And when you break up the skit down into 2 parts, 3 parts, whatever, you also have the option to add or reduce things to the long form. Whereas if you make the long form right away, you're going to have points and be like, you know what? I kind of wish we would have changed this.
A year in retainer fees, John. You have the money.
Who was that?
Strahd,
Count von Zarvish from Barovia?
The very same.
Well, this is
And there wasn't a necessary to have it introduced like this. Having him on the line, that could have been like that 3-party call. Let me bring him in if you really want to talk to him, type of thing. Could have changed the story.
This is a welcome surprise. I'm a big fan.
Diana, Strahd's a client, and he's looking for a powerful and automated defensive solution for his courtyard to repel or destroy intruders, adventurers, vampire hunters, and over-enthusiastic ghost hunting influencers.
Preferably destroy, especially the influencers.
Well, Count, it's an honor to meet you.
Call me Strahd. The honor is all mine.
And I'm going to be honest, right here, the conversation from this point onward didn't need John. Instead of having the skit be where John's still here, we don't need him to transfer the call. He could still be on the line. But John isn't necessary to talk in between the two, because I've had to be on the line, hold with somebody else, and stay on there. And very well could have been, John, stay on the line for a moment. I need to ensure that this will work. And then, like, we get into the rest of it. They're having a conversation that honestly could have started.
John tells me you're the best.
Oh, I am.
He's rejected everything in our catalog and all of R&D's custom solutions.
Even the Screamstone?
Yes, even the Screamstone.
Okay, so let's work through this. Powerful, deadly.
Is Chris here? I don't see Chris right now. Biggest thing is, like, this is a heavy amount of criticism, mind you. It feels like could have been Act 1, John plus Strahd, Act 2, John plus Diana, Act 3, Diana plus Strahd, and then right there at the end, John, who's still technically listening to the line, waiting for his turn, could then pop in and be like, "Hey, I'm still here. What the heck?" And instead, the tone of seeing John wouldn't have been there until the end, where you pop in and be like, oh shit, he's still on the line. That's funny.
The AoE, I can work with this. Okay, how about a bone vortex?
Now, from an editing standpoint and a viewing standpoint, I really liked what she did with the different camera angles. Given how heavy this text winds up being, it's really nice having those different angles. And then the only thing I would have fixed would have been the echo, because there's echo with her stuff, and she's supposed to be taking the call from a headset in her ear. There wouldn't have been echo. The noise would have been reduced.
It's a tornado of animated skeleton arms that comes out of this like old abandoned well, and then it just starts grabbing people and yeeting them into the sky.
You lost me at the bandit well. I don't want the people to think that I cannot maintain my own castle grounds.
So we want effective and fancy.
And you could still have John reacting to this conversation if you wanted to. But I feel like taking him out of the equation and just letting it be Diana and let Diana carry the scene until the very end when it's like, hey, would have been better. Again, I do like it. It could have gone either way.
You're going to have to brace yourself with this one, Diana. He's very picky and particular.
I can hear you.
He's discerning, John. He wants the best.
Which, instead of this line here, it would have just been, oh, I see, you're discerning. You really want the best. I can understand why you've been so picky with it. Let Diana carry the scene at that point. But again, it could have gone either way. This scene still would have flowed the exact same. It just feels like John wasn't necessary, but it also, like, it didn't take away anything. It didn't add anything. It's right there in the middle of, like, that's up to whoever's creating the skit.
I can relate. Okay, new idea. A spectral lance barrage.
Again, the moving and shifting, that was really cool and good. There's going to be a scene here I'm going to point out.
So we turn the entire courtyard into this infinite hail of spears, and they all do different types of magic. And that way, death is assured no matter what kind of resistances an intruder has.
Is there a way to ensure that it doesn't damage the landscaping?
That scene right there with John, absolutely not necessary.
Good question. No, your landscaping would not be okay. Especially people trying to take cover like in it or behind it. I can kind of see why John is having some trouble here. There's a lot of variables to consider.
And then this part right here coming up absolutely feels like it is good.
There's so many fancy ways to say picky and particular.
Okay, what if we
But you could have had that been like he covered the microphone, put himself on mute, and said that underneath his breath. And I feel like saying it underneath his breath would have actually been funnier because it's never addressed. There's no one commenting on what he said, and so it feels like it went nowhere. Yeah, and because of it, the tone shift winds up changing dramatically. So if Chris had, as John, covered his mouth, and I was like, there's so many ways of saying fancy in particular, that would have been funny. It would have kept the scene still, and we might have even been able to have right here, this scene right here,
do a
right as he's saying that, she could have still been talking. We would have heard both John and them, so we'd understand that this conversation is happening at the same time. John is on the line. Yeah, you really wouldn't have said that. We play it off as like we do that all the time.
a pool of liquid darkness. It bubbles up from the ground, and then it starts to dissolve people from the feet up.
Where would the darkness be stored?
But again, we're having the same issue that we started at the beginning, where there's a lot of exposition, a lot of this stuff happening, selling products that don't exist. This is D&D stuff. It's very heavy in the D&D things. These are all real things that you can do in D&D or Pathfinder and stuff like that. The issue here is it drags on. It's the same thing as prior, where there's a lot of these options getting to one thing.
We're not in use.
Below ground, you'd need the courtyard surface to be porous.
It's custom dwarven tile work, centuries old. I can't have it aerated.
I have it. Okay, we'll use the lavender lookout. Okay, it's a
That scene right there, I want to point this out. This is the editing thing. If you took John out of the scene,
Aerated.
I have it. Okay, we'll use the lavender lookout.
right here, we could have done a shift right there.
Okay, it's a
Instead of
magical.
stopping. It would have been just a fraction of a second to change that because of how
The
she
lavender
does
lookout.
that. She stops and looks at the computer, but she's stopping because she's in the scene. It's supposed to be the smooth, fluid movement, but we don't have that. So either A, that scene could have been filmed with her moving into the chair and sitting down, and then you switch focus, or right as she goes to stop, right before she goes to stop, we see that movement, we see the fluid movement in. That would have been like a 1 to 2 seconds things. Technically they do, just in D&D. Yeah, and that's a thing. Like, if somebody who's so good at their job can be like, oh wait, no, that would have to go through, your tile work. Do you have something this? Okay, so that would destroy it. That's not going to be good.
Okay, it's a magical, like light purple gemstone that's going to hover in the middle of your courtyard.
I really feel like you could have cut out. You could have gotten one thing and then said like, wow, you really don't want anything to destroy it. Emphasize that point and then moved on and like, okay, so this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. I think I might have something, and then drive right into the courtyard thing. That would have taken care of another 40 seconds to a minute of dialogue. Mimic topiary, fancy garden, and effective guard dogs. That's another one. See, that one could have been a thing. Instead, use that as something else, because then you're not destroying it. You're doing that. So again, this comes from wanting to create the thing. Yeah, but here's the thing. Is the view count because we have somebody pretty on the screen, or is the view count / watch time because people are enjoying and wanting to see the longer video? I find her interesting. I find all this interesting. But I also, from a story aspect, feel like it could have been shortened.
But it has area awareness. And if we place it right in front of the stairs to the castle gate, and there's a choke point with at least like a 60-foot clearance, maybe, for any of the landscape.
And I really like how she delivered the lot. Oh, hey. I don't get to do this very often, where I'm more of a fan than like the creator. So I'm getting to critique this from like an editor story point and fan thing. I said that earlier.
That was so fun to watch you go. No, hi.
I have been brutal, but also I've been complimenting a lot of the stuff too. You can go back and watch it, but yeah, we're gonna continue here.
Then the lookout actually functions as 3 magical devices in one.
I like how Chris is at John going like, this scene is really awesome, because again, it plays in the fact that John is on there. We mentioned earlier, you weren't here for it, or if you have been watching it, there you go. Have you been watching me critique it?
I was asleep until 5 minutes ago, and then
Okay.
So I received a wonderful back rub, and I fell asleep because of it. And then I woke up about 5 minutes ago, and I heard Aline listening, and she goes, "Levi's critiquing your video. Do you want to hop on?" And I was like, "I want to go back to sleep." And I'm like, "Actually, yeah, I do want to hop on, but I'm gonna surprise him."
So when you said the calling Strahd different ways of calling petty, I personally feel like you should have covered up your mic and said it as if you weren't like on the line. Like you didn't want him to know that, like not necessarily you didn't want him to know you were trying to be quiet. I feel like that would have been there's a couple plot holes that we pointed out. Like that's not something you want to say out loud at the moment of this call happening. There is how long the things have taken.
Right.
In the point over and over multiple times, both at the start and in the middle here. One person mentioned there's that. Mimic Topiary would have been, she keeps suggesting things that would destroy her house, but she's supposed to be the best of the best, and she's already been told this. So what would, mentioning things like that maybe once, and I mean, like, yeah, you're okay. So you really don't want anything to do this. Maybe tossing in the Mimicry Topiary would have been awesome. That would have been a great idea because that's not destroying it. That's that. And then having your line, God damn, he really is picky. You find it a whole.
There's so much that, like, that's the thing about this is there's so much we don't even think about.
Yeah. So I'm getting to critique this from a standpoint of like somebody who writes stories, but like since I didn't know the context, I'm actually enjoying this quite a lot. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna press play.
Deals fire damage, one deals ice damage, and then the last deals radiant damage.
Wait. Diana, is that rules legal?
Oh, I'm just getting started. The Lookout's fire and ice elements each act once per round, and so it sends out a.
This is another part that I understand why you added it in as somebody who plays D&D and stuff like that. I don't think it was necessary to add this in. This entire spiel of how much damage it does and everything, and is that rules legal, was 100% shift tone, fourth wall break for the next like 30 seconds to minute.
The reason I left it in is, to me, and this was just to entertain myself, I thought it would be hilarious if Strahd's life exists in 6-second turns.
The problem.
So this is the way he experiences life. So it makes perfect sense to him.
The biggest issue by adding this in is you actually shoehorned a specific edition in. So, like, because the edition has changed recently, instead of leaving this out so that it could be changed, you could have done, is it rules? If you wanted to do rules legal, you could have still done that joke, but changed her line to, oh, yeah, it totally is. I can send you that information later. Or something of that aspect. That would have allowed it to be like, oh my God, people who are watching this go, that's rules legal. I need to look this up. I want to know more about this.
But so think about when Strahd came out.
That was like, was that 4 or 3.5?
I believe he was in.
It wasn't 3.5, was it?
No, I think it's before that.
Willing Dragon, thank you again for popping over on. Sounds like a prismatic effect. Yeah. Thank you again for popping, everyone that's popping on Twitch too. The vampire could have borrowed.
Strahd first appeared in 1983 in Ravenloft in version first edition D&D.
But he didn't have a dedicated book until like just recently, a dedicated campaign, right?
He first appeared in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons module Ravenloft in 83. The original module for Strahd, published in 1983, the module was written by Tracy and Laura Hickman. The Curse of Strahd was an adaptation of the original Ravenloft module for 5th edition. So he's been in D&D since the very beginning.
And I've never even heard of him until the 5th and until that more recent edition.
Yeah, he's been a thing since the 80s. So he would exist in this old turn by turn, this save, that save, etc.
Was AD&D first edition was when you account, right?
Yeah, I was trying really hard to be like honest to his beginnings. Like, yes, he exists in 5e, but this would be the original Strahd. He's super picky because that's the way you had to be in AD&D. That's when THAC0 was still a thing. People who played only for the edition are like, what the hell is a THAC0? Be glad Thaco is gone.
So we're going to continue playing real quick.
A magical wave in a 60-foot radius, and then each time the radiant element is hit with magic, it pulses out a radiance wave in the same 60-foot radius. The radiant fire wave hits for 60-10 damage with a fear effect, which means it then triggers both a DC 20 will save and a DC 20 40.
So that's another scene that I don't think John was necessary in. We could have let Diana continue to carry this scene.
There's reasons why I did that. So she had a bunch of takes where she did the lines in parts. And
so you weren't able to.
there's an obvious cut, so I needed a way to block that cut.
Okay. Again, this is, I wasn't the one who edited this.
You
so I
didn't know.
that.
Yeah.
Fortitude save. And the radiant ice wave hits for 60-10 damage with a slow effect, which triggers a DC 20 reflex save and another DC 20 fortitude save.
Diana, I like where this is going, but does it do anything else?
I still feel we could have shortened that dialogue down quite a bit.
Probably.
That's why I like you, Strahd. I know most people would be satisfied with the Lavender Lookout as I've already described it, but I figured you'd be wanting something more. So we also add a blood siphon effect. So whenever anyone who's hit by its attack drops below 50% health, then they have to make a DC 20 con save, or else they lose a half pint of blood. And I'm sure John can set something up so that the siphon blood is pumped into your castle.
So is that an actual effect that it siphons blood, or was that something you added?
That was just a random thing that I'm like, Strahd wants more. Fine, it'll do this too.
I like that. I like that a lot, especially because it adds context to us being in there. It puts us in there and changes it a little bit. I feel that that could have gone two different ways. And if we went and kept it as it is a thing, Diana could have been like, well, I'm sure, like, I've been playing around with this, but unfortunately, I don't have a way to modify it. And then that's when you could have popped in and was like, but we do. And then you could have been like, hey, what's your idea? What's your idea, Diana? Well, and then this would have continued on, and that would have carried in to you being able to say 70% higher too, which then would have made a lot more sense than what's about to happen.
Right. So what go ahead.
I love it. What does it cost?
Strahd, hold up.
And I love the interruption right here. If we had been able to have Diana carry this scene for longer to where you would have been interrupting, 2 minutes into them talking and like they forgot that you existed there, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
Because like you're sitting there on the line the whole time. We get to see you maybe once or twice, and Diana's carrying the scene. And we're like, wait a minute. Why is he still online? Did he do a 3-party phone call? That's when we learned you did a 3-party phone call. That would have been really funny to me, but I understand why you weren't able to do it.
Oh, we learned he did the 3-party phone call when Strahd cuts in earlier on and says, I pay you 19 million gold a year retainer fees.
I mentioned that wasn't necessary. I mentioned earlier that like if we cut that wasn't necessary, like we could have changed that slightly, which is what I was talking about here. I think we could have still had about an 8-minute skit if we changed things around. But again, there's a lot of feedback we were all talking about in this. We're going to finish this up.
I would like to discuss cost with Diana privately so that...
I'm here 23 million gold.
Done! When can you have it delivered?
Strahd, just wait a minute.
Give me 6 weeks, give or take.
Strahd!
Diana, do you accept the Venmo?
No.
It's very convenient.
Strahd, stop! You are not Venmoing Diana for the Lavender Lookout, okay? The 23 million gold is the cost to villain support, all right? It's just the cost of the device, and you are not buying this directly. We are facilitating the purchase for you. We are handling the installation as well, which has its own costs, okay? Your final price is going to be at least 70% higher.
70%.
This is why I wanted to discuss costs with Diana without you on the line, all right? I will have a final quote to you this afternoon.
You blood-sucking bastard.
And so I like a lot of this back and forth dialogue here. There could have been more with Diana at this point. I will say, given the context for those who are watching, some of the suggestions I had, if we had started at a different point or changed how we started so it was more into the call versus that longer draw out, which and some people like, some people don't, but the majority of people who may not have context, starting out right there, you're talking to a vampire, you learn right away. It gives a little bit more attention. Having Diana carry the scenes that she's in, if that would have been an option, which we learned from Chris just now, because of the way it was filmed, some of these weren't an option. And having Chris be in the background without knowing until the end would have changed this whole tone. It wouldn't have been as much like some people were saying, the continuous tone shifts, making it like fall up and down, really kind of screwed with watching the video because it didn't feel as natural of a flow through. But overall, there's good jokes. There's a good story here. There's just repeated dialogue that's not necessary or could be changed, modified so that it fits better. Overall, it's a good video. And it sucks that it's not getting the views. And that could be because of, certain points.
Oh, yeah, the beginning drags, and I recognize that. But the thing is, I sat there and I go, you know what I've done with so many of my videos recently is I've looked at them and I've second guessed. Thanks for doing that. I've second guessed them, and I've put out stuff that I have said, okay, I think this is what the audience wants to see, instead of just saying, you know what, this is what I enjoyed making and I'm happy with it now. I'm going to post this, and then I want to recut it later and do a much better version.
Yeah. And we've discussed this before. And so everyone here, this is where you get to see this. We've discussed that before, where we need to put out more stuff where we're just putting it out versus worrying about it too much. Because we kind of got creative paralysis trying to, in all aspects, live up to the expectations of our audience who kept praising us for all this story work. And it's like, look, we were scrambling to fix plot holes and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, I can look at a story and be like, this, and this it could be fixed. And then I need to be like, okay, Chris, how do we fix these things? And Chris will come up with like 20 ideas and we'll try them. And then we'll wind up picking one based on things. And like, that's happened with a lot of our videos. But the problem with that was like, we would spend hours and hours, 10, 20 hours just trying to fix a bunch of plot holes. Gary was one of the first storylines, and Stitch as well, of this very thought out, still very good storyline, where we didn't delve off too much. We still got to have fun with it. But Gary was done out of necessity.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's really gotten to the point where I'm sitting here and I'll be straight up honest. There was a point when I sat here and I thought to myself, this isn't fun anymore. This is becoming work. And granted, this is an income. This is Levi's job, but like when I say becoming work, meaning like I'm dreading it, and that can't be happening. And
yeah,
so
I wanted to talk to you privately and be like, are you still wanting to do this? Because I felt like I was right, but it felt like maybe you didn't want to do this with me, and not necessarily with me, but do this at all. And that was one of the things I mentioned earlier too. Is like, I didn't want to, and this is me being honest with the audience here. I didn't want to do this by myself currently. Like, I have no problem making stories, but I have way much more fun creating these stories with Chris, even given our differences and the critique and everything. Because I started this out when I started this live to talk about this stuff. When I started talking about this stuff particularly, it was along the lines of, I couldn't give you good feedback. And at the time when I told you that, there was a misunderstanding because I was sick and I didn't give it out. What I meant by that was like, I didn't have context to this character. I didn't have context to this one. And there was a comment about like, we're introducing effectively 2 new characters that a lot of people may not know about, and a lot of people probably don't know about. And we're having to do a lot of exposition to explain who these characters are. And it's being repeated.
Yeah.
And so
part of that response on my part was me being frustrated with all of it and going, I want to love this and I don't right now. And so I decided, you know what, I need to step back a little bit I didn't talk to you about it because I wasn't prepared to say that was what was going to happen. But I was like, I'm gonna repost stuff on TikTok, and I'm gonna try to record things. And I would record things, and I kept looking at them with this critical eye of being like, well, that's not funny. This isn't funny. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna record. I'm gonna write something that I think is fun. I don't care if anybody else likes it, and I'm gonna post and I'm gonna post that. And if it flops, it flops. But if I'm happy with it, great. Then we can take what I'm happy with, and then we can make the better version, which I want to do. I've already cut it down to a 6 minute and 44-second version by cutting some of the beginning off. And I know there's tightening up we can do in the middle, and I can go back to Diana and ask her to do more dialogue also.
I feel like if we go back and look at the live and look at some of the feedback from both the audience and stuff, tidying up stuff, maybe new beer. Yeah, I had to. We'll talk about that later. I want to talk about, before we continue on down that route. I told you guys we would also talk about the video analytics after we talked about the video and everything, right? So when we look at a video, views aren't the only thing. If we looked at views, there's a lot of videos that wouldn't be there. Like, for instance, a lot of my videos can be niche. One of the things we noticed about my videos, though, is I have a higher retention rate. Like, my entire video, I think I have a retention rate on my channel of close to 80 to 90%. And on here, a lot of the videos mimic that. And that's retention rate is huge. But if we're not getting the views on top of retention rate, we need to take a look at what it is. Because retention rate says this video is interesting. People are looking at it. When they see it, they're watching it almost all the way through, and it should be getting pushed. Why is it not getting pushed? Well, that's probably the name or the character, or people don't understand what it is. And that's what's going on here. People who are watching this video, who are average viewers, and I told Chris earlier, and this pops back into like when I gave him my feedback and we got clearer as to where I was coming from. It was like, I think that the normal fans will probably like it. People who know it will probably like it. But the average viewer who doesn't have any context, which a lot of times, we don't want to always focus on them. But if we wanted a giant video, we have to try to make it in a way that they would like, right? But that's work versus fun. And there needs to be a mix in between the two.
Yeah.
And so right here, the average view duration currently is 5 minutes and 15 seconds. The actual view duration saying 4 minutes and 47 seconds. We'll have in a couple days a better time frame of when people pop out. But this tells me that, like, and we had somebody who mentioned that they popped out around the 2 minute marker as well, because once it got repeated the same thing 3 times in a row, or 3 different jokes in a row, it was I'm popping out. This is boring now. So that is where we need to look at it and be like, okay, how can we make this better? And I've had videos like that plenty of times where I posted on my channel, and I'm like, okay, and we have a video like that right now where it's Beerus versus Supernatural, where I looked at it, I read some comments, and I was like, this could be better. Here's the thing. Chris, I told Chris, is like, Chris looked at it, he liked it, especially liked the fact it was over Pi. And I was like, you know these characters better than I do. Like, I know them through research. You know them through research and watching the show. And I can't bring myself to watch DBZ, sadly. I've tried like 4 times now. I can't bring myself to rewatch it. I've tried. If my kids get interested, I think I'll be able to.
Yeah.
I don't know what to start with.
Beerus isn't even in Dragon Ball Super. He's a Dragon Ball Z. He's in Dragon Ball Super.
Dragon Ball Super. Sorry. Yeah. And see, that's another thing. It's like asking you to watch the original One Piece versus the remake that's about to happen.
Yeah.
Like,
I will watch the remake.
There is so much at this point. I don't know where to start. And it's like, what is canon? What is not? And then, like, you get something like DBZ, Ben 10, Star Trek, Star Wars that has been mixed and changed a million times. You're like, which one are we going to go with for the lore here? And because we don't have, like, this is an advantage over Death Battle. This is what's really cool about us. We could do a death battle style video where me and Chris are talking and then do our skit. But it could be a comedy version versus what they do, which is like, oh, this person should win because of this ability. And we're like, fuck that. You know?
So here's I'm looking at the analytics right now. Here's the wild thing. 2,300 views, which is a little lower than typical performance, also much longer video. Watch time, 200 hours of watch time already, which is 70.8%, 70 hours more than usual at this point, which is also a function of it being an 8-minute video.
Yeah.
But the watch hours also factor in.
And this is just on YouTube. You take in these analytics, and from what I could see, it's mirroring across the board, which tells me that there's definitely things that are working and things that are not working. The things that are not working are probably what I think they are, where the two main hiccups is it's a lot of exposition and it's repeated jokes that could be changed to better fit and flow a bit better. Elder God, thank you. And that, again, you're a viewer, and our fans are the ones who are watching the entire video.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. I wrote the script, and I was like, I'm happy with this. I like this. It makes me laugh. I wasn't worried about views. I was like, I want to do something that I'm enjoying. This is for me. And if everybody hates it, cool. I had fun with this.
The Constantine series, even though I write it with everyone, pretty much the same thing. I just have direct control. The Stitch series. Here's something you guys may not know. There's been plenty of comments, and Chris has mentioned to me. I was like, hey, what if we put Stitch in this? This video is doing really well. And I go, no. Like, I don't mind if it's a one-off video. I don't want it in the story. And the reason why is I know what I want for the story. This is a project that I'm putting out of my own bill. I'm not asking Chris for money for the voice actors. This was a test project that I wanted to do. I wanted to write. I wanted to have fun with it. And I proved something to myself and to our channel during this stuff. And as we were doing more voice work with Stitch, we wound up doing more voice work with other videos, and it kept showing results across the board that when we did voice acting, when we added extra characters, even if they were, especially if they were recognizable characters, the videos always did better. Even if it wasn't, in all honesty, the best video. Because we have videos that are kind of lackluster, but I know where I want the Stitch series to go. And I know kind of an idea of where I want the Constantine series. The Constantine series, I can do one more video, and then we really need to start having Dresden show back up.
Yeah.
Or we need to start having Dresden now start showing back up with Constantine in tow, or meeting Constantine back up again. But I haven't been able to do that because I can't write any Dresden stuff. I don't know enough of the characters, and what I do know is all from Chris. And from what I do know, we aren't dealing directly with Dresden 90% of the time. Now, the benefit of my prop back here, right here, is that we do have that option. We have explored it. We have talked about it. I have a prop. And one of the ideas I have is both me and John, Levi and John, reacting to that phone randomly ringing, and both of us go, what? But the problem with this is, and it's not going to be a problem in the long term, lore wise, those who watch the lore are going to see the different office, and we need to make a video addressing that eventually. And I know what video that is. It's Nappa blowing up my office, and then me using magic to basically turn the clock back.
Explosion blowing up, not smell blowing up.
Yeah. And yes, we have, I have no idea what that means.
No. There's Constantine from the comics, Hellblazer, and then there's Keanu Reeves as Constantine.
Yeah. And we can do that, but I don't feel that it's necessary. Also,
that is like having Kid Goku from Dragon Ball show up in Dragon Ball Super, where Goku is literally a god, and have him be like, let's fight bad guys together. And Goku, God Goku being like, You're cute, which would be Hellblazer to Keanu Reeves' Constantine.
And at that point, that's something that you would totally need. Found some interesting here to join. So, do you like the video idea above? So that would totally be the point of where, like, if we did a video like that, which we can do, it can't be in the current series of the going to the bar and looking for the clown, blah blah blah. It can't be that particular series, which I have to rewatch the series now because I got to remember where we're at. For one reason, you would need voice acting. You would need voice acting at the minimum. And this entire series, we've talked about it when voice acting started taking off. It got brought up. Do you want to add voicing to Constant? And I was like, I can't. We would have to redo the entire series with all the voicing, all the characters. And I'm telling you right now, the amount of effort, time, and money to go into that is not worth it at the moment until that series is wrapped up, even though I'll continue to do one-offs with Constantine Versus. Get steak sandwiches delivered for the next Dresden skit.
So Dresden, in almost every book, goes to a place called it's McAnally's Bar. And Mac, the guy who runs McAnally's Bar, we don't know exactly who or what he is, but a lot of hardcore fans think that he is like an ancient, uber powerful eldritch being. But he runs a bar where he makes his own brown ale and serves steak sandwiches in Dresden. There's always great detail about how good the steak sandwiches are.
So we could do a bit of lore with that. So it is common knowledge on the channel, very common thanks to the Constantine series, that Levi plays with eldritch beings, a poker game. I have a few different jokes I'm going to do with that. One of them requires a physical thing. Give me a second here. I need to fix something.
They set Mac up to be the kind of being, the kind of being that we joke about Miss Frizzle being.
Yeah.
Like Mac is just this insanely powerful thing that people walk into his bar and the columns are set up a certain way as to disrupt magic. And he's got a sign on the wall talking about him being a member of the Unseelie Accords. It's neutral territory. And you can't use magic or start a fight in there. And if you do, he just ends you. And it's like the same kind of like fear that we have of Miss Frizzle, we need to have of Mac. Can I switch gears to Stitch super quick?
Yeah, sure.
I had a goofy little idea that you can take or leave. But because there was the Super Bowl commercial, right in the middle of developing a storyline where Zinch throws Stitch into a new universe, what if he goes quantum leap for a little while and one of those leaps was through the Super Bowl and then he just disappeared, which is why it's just that clip. He's on the field and he screams into the microphone, I don't know, whatever it is he screams, and then runs off and poof, he gets put into another one.
We could literally just take that little bit of clip and put that in there if you wanted to. The idea I had was getting mad. We break the fourth wall by saying that's it, grab and fight, fall off my chair. I have a Stitch plush. I could get mad. I break the fourth wall. I look over. That's it. I grab Stitch, pull him over, and I was like, "You little!" And then I fight and fall off my chair. He goes in the air, comes back down, and we see John and Nappa kind of looking like, "What?" That was just a little funny skit idea, but I like yours probably a little bit better because it would be very easy for us to modify the line to say. I don't even think we'd need to modify it, actually. Let me take a look at the script.
Imagine a line where you're talking to Stitch and you say something like Stitch, like whatever it is. And then you were at the Super Bowl? What do you mean you don't know? What do you mean you don't know what I'm talking about? Stitch, and you press the button and it plays real quick, like just the end of him screaming like whatever he says at the very end. And then there's just silence. Oh, now you have nothing to say, huh? Calvin, we don't have an OnlyFans yet.
We could literally insert it as underneath if we wanted to. Kind of like what I've done with some of Stitch's other stuff. We could literally insert that as a GIF, quote unquote GIF. It would be just the video underneath as you're doing that scene, right at because John, why not? He was already from don't need to do that. He was already from another universe, and now that he's a champion Cohen, it's going to be the best show of ever. And then that best show right there, right as you're reacting to that line, which is did you plan all this? Right as that is, you see the Super Bowl clip below you. You could even break the fourth wall and look at there and did you plan all of this? I think that would be funny as hell.
What if like John's on the phone trying to get a hold of Levi, and Nappa goes, John, what Nappa? John, you need to see this right now. And then it cuts to the Super Bowl clip. And John's just like watching
Actually, yeah, that works out. Let me right there, right as John expert. So right after that, right there, I can just do this.
I can still do a fourth wall break where I'm doing this. I look at it and I go.
Let me see you looking at it. What? Let me
so
see.
I'm like, like imagine this is my phone. I'm like watching the screen, and I'm like, and I do this, and then back to watching it.
Yeah. Okay. Nappa. So if we change it right after Houston says his line,
or John could even do this. Fuck my life. And then back to the video.
Yeah.
I re-recorded the cornflakes video earlier today.
Ooh, we'll have to take a look at that. Give me a second to finish writing this up real quick, though.
I haven't edited. I just have the raw video of it.
Do you want to be looking at your phone, or do you want to be looking at like a TV screen?
I can turn and look at my monitor, and then I can just look over at the phone and just look direct, break the fourth wall, and just be like, "Fuck my life," and then go back to watching it on wherever I'm looking at it.
You want to say "fuck my life"?
That can be what's in there for now, but I might do a couple different takes on it.
The human market simply is not ready for a blood cereal covered in blood. It's don't.
Okay. And then you go back to the call. So the way that this is written now is he says his line. You're exasperated about it. John, you need to see this. What? I'm busy, Nappa. Nappa points to a TV, and we see the Super Bowl clip in however way we want to play it. Whether that be a full-on scene change and we see the Super Bowl clip, or it's underneath you, it doesn't matter. I feel like a quick scene change to it would be funnier. And then you can say F my life, and it could still be playing at the bottom because it changes to that. Did you plan all this? And then it's not. That's perfect. We can add it to the script. We were able to add it to the script without changing the flow of anything. And he got sent over into our universe. And there's no reason why well, he got sent to the real universe. There's no reason why we can't turn around and be like, okay, how do we get Stitch out of here? And figure that out as part of the thing, which, in all honesty, might be the way I'm able to bring the Borg back into this.
Yeah.
So I like that. So that allows us to add in the Super Bowl clip. It gets everyone that little bit of, we've had him travel the multiverse. He's traveled into our universe. We break the fourth wall a little bit if we want to. I like that. That works out a lot better than my idea, which would have been a throw off. This allows it to be part of the series.
And yeah, I mean, it's acknowledging that he is a menace, and he's even there. And then that commercial is literally just a moment in time of something's on the field, crash into the pole, screams into the microphone, and runs off, and then he just is no longer in that reality again. It fits with that quantum leap type thing perfectly.
Yeah. All right. So you mentioned that you redid the corn video.
Yeah, because that was today's on this day video, but it's only like 33 seconds long.
Yeah.
And it was just a one-off goofy thing. And I was like, I want to repost it, but I really want to remake this. I wanted to remake it last year, and I didn't do it.
And to anyone, by the way, to anyone asking for more 40K content after this, the 40K content, making sure that it's accurate and everything, and then not upset the very large, very angry, almost all the time fan base.
If you want villain support style content about 40K and you know 40K, you make it. Just don't call yourself villain support.
We can make it. It just takes a long time. That's the reason why this has taken as and originally, to everyone here, the first part of that video was supposed to be a one-off, give the audience what they want. It just blew up. It did so well. I was like, damn. It's not going to be a one-off thing to like. Right. I wasn't going to originally have it be in the storyline. It was going to be one of those, like the Constantine series. When I go to make the whole series, there might be villains that get cut. Like, I'll be honest, the video that I need to write up here with Darth Vader, because Constantine's one of those series I do because it's fun. May not make the cut because I don't need that much bashing in the actual story board version of it. But the compilation absolutely will have it. The compilation will have every video I've ever done.
Speaking of Dresden, I love where you have that phone placed on your wall now versus where it used to be. Because it used to be up in the corner on the wall angled, and now it's like behind you and looks like you can reach it if you need to.
Yeah, all I'd have to do is just do this. I'd have to, because of the way I have it tangled between the power cord right now so it doesn't flop, I'd have to untangle that for the skit. Fine.
But that would be so easy to do and be like, Levi, can you please use the old phone and call Dresden?
I think it would be funnier if, like, we're in the middle of the call trying to figure out whatever's going on, whatever we do with the call. If all of a sudden it rings and all three of us kind of go, huh? And you could even point out, I was like, Levi, when did that get back there? I can go, oh, yeah. That got placed back when I had to change the office back. Okay, but who knows that number?
Yeah, you can do this. You can go, Harry Dresden.
No, it'd be even better. I was like, it's not who knows the number, John. It's who's the only person who would call it. And you'd be like, answer Harry's call, please.
Yeah. Mason, if you're enjoying Stormfront, that is awesome because you are literally reading the weakest book in the whole series.
I need my.
For background people who don't know Dresden Files, he wrote Stormfront. Yeah, Subby Wan saying the same thing basically. Stormfront was a college project for him. And his professor was like, this is good enough to publish. And he published it and walked away from it for 2.5 years. Publisher came back and said, the fans want another book. And he was like, okay. And wrote the book Full Moon, which was started out the same kind of writing in Stormfront and got better as it went. He kind of hit his stride at the very end of Full Moon. And then the third book, which is why I tell people often when they ask, read book 3 first, so you can see what the series is supposed to be like, then read 1 and 2. Because me included, so many people I know have read book 1 and gone, that was fun, but I don't need any more. And it had to be pushed really hard by other people to read more of it. I read book 1 and wouldn't touch it again for a year. My friend kept being like, you need to read books 2 and 3. Come on. And I'm like, fine. And about halfway through book 2, I was like, this is so much better than book 1. So yeah, if you're liking Stormfront so far, you are going to love the rest of the series.
I need.
Sorry about. I didn't mean to gush on you. I apologize.
No, you're good. I need to get a new Kindle. Kiddo's got my old one, and again, it's old. Because I struggle reading regular books on my phone. If I had the actual book in front of me, it's like a coin toss. Because I'll read regular physical books again, but it's also a matter of me sitting down away from everything. Changes will break your heart, though.
Yeah. So literally, Subby Wan, thank you for much better summarizing what I just said in a sentence versus the giant novel that I fired out of my mouth.
Send me tea. Absolutely. I absolutely love tea. Chris is more of a coffee guy.
I do like tea.
You do like tea.
I like green tea, but make sure there's no dandelion in it because I react to that.
Oh. For me it's rose.
Me too.
Yeah, for me it's rose. For you it's dandelion. I have the OCD, so I've read. Yeah, same thing, Sean. That's my issue.
I get it.
I hate reading. I tried reading the way he suggested. I couldn't. I had to go back, and then I got hung up on a few different things.
Trella,
Absolutely.
Are you offering real Gundams? If so, yes. But you're gonna have to talk my wife into why I'm putting a giant robot in the backyard.
And if you're offering the model, if it's a kit, I will do my best endeavor to put it together on live stream. But at the same time, that's a lot.
Yeah. So here is my remake of Cornflakes. It is raw. And it was this was fully improvised. I didn't use a script. And I don't want to post it as is, but I like the angle I'm taking. It's basically the same old video, but it's just I updated and made longer. So give me 1 second here.
I don't know if I gave Corn a voice yet. I'd have to go back and look. I don't think I gave him a voice.
All right. Share audio. I'm turning my microphone off so I'm not echoing. 1 second here.
Toa says Gunpla. So
I am telling you the truth. Okay, the human market was a no-go. All right, it did not matter how much sugar or flavors or colors.
We frozen.
Oh, never mind. I guess we don't get to watch it.
I'll just let me stop sharing, and I'll just play it direct from.
Oh my God, Timothy! Look what Timothy says. I think you'll love that one.
Timothy, I was so insanely into BattleTech for the longest time, man.
I like the game, the like the PS2 game or whatever it was, PS2, PS3, whichever one it was. I like that. I played that so much, but at the same time, I don't think I ever beat it because I just kept playing the missions. It was fun.
Give me a sec here.
Let it go now.
Here, Levi. Can you download that from the My computer's having major issues right now.
Did you send it to
From the
me?
from the general channel on our Discord?
Yeah.
And play it.
Give me a minute.
Levi, take the Epion. It was badass.
Corn, I am telling you the truth. Okay.
What's Epion?
The Gundam Epion from Gundam Wing.
I'll look it up.
That was
Is that something I have to put together? Oh my god, that looks difficult.
yeah, Troll, is that being delivered?
Do I have to paint that?
Wow, my computer's having major issues right now, man.
Let me share and kind of go from there.
It's streaming fine, but I can't even Control Alt Delete into to kill Discord.
Corn, I am telling you the truth. Okay. The human market was a no-go. All right. It did not matter how much sugar or flavors or colors or shapes or marshmallows we put into this freaking cereal. Okay. None of them were interested in or liked cornflakes. All right. The human market simply is not ready for a blood cereal covered in blood. It's no, don't get discouraged, buddy. All right, I'm not saying that we can't sell it. I'm just saying the human market was the wrong demographic. Okay, we've got some creatures here on Earth. We got vampires. We got chupacabras, demons too. Some of them that will eat or drink blood. All right, I think that the cornflakes would go great into those markets. I think the corn chips would also do really well. In fact, remember that guy Gary who used to work for me? The vampire. I had to fire him, and I was trying to get him a job with you. No, he's good. He found something else, but he would be a great beta tester for these products. I've got the samples you sent me in the back. I'm going to send him a box of the cornflakes and a bag of the corn chips. Get his feedback. Find out from him. Is original flavor good enough, right? Or do we need to add like a barbecue flavor maybe? Or do we need to have like sour cream and onion? No, it's garlic that vampires can't have. Sour cream and onion is fine. All right, we can't make like a garlic flavor, which is not that big of a deal. Yeah, so let me get the products in Gary's hands, and I'll distribute them out to a couple of the different versions of Count Dracula that we've got, and also to some of the chupacabras that I know. I'll get you some feedback. We'll figure out the right way to go, and then we'll get the marketing started. Okay?
It drags on a little longer at the end. It doesn't need that last bit.
So I will. I want to give some feedback. First of all, I actually really like it. I really do like it. I like that you brought Gary into it. I would love if we could have voicing, but I don't think that is required for this because you're speaking most of it, to be honest. It does drag a little. It could be tightened up, but I like it. Like you could post that as is, and I think it would do well.
I think so too.
I think the only
I think so too.
The funny thing I would love to do, I would love you to keep the whole sour cream and onion stuff in there for one reason only. Did you know that sour cream and onion actually has garlic in it?
I did not know that.
Yeah, a lot of things like those chips and everything, you'll see spices and everything. If it says spices, it's almost guaranteed to have garlic in it.
Really?
Yeah. So it'd be funny. It would be funny if it like, no, John, I had a reaction. I was like, but it doesn't have garlic. Yes, it does.
John, why did you send this to me? Or actually, because I'm sending him just the regular flavor. Gary could be like, John, this is good, but it can use some flavors. What about sour cream and onion? And Gary goes, John, there's garlic in that. No, there's not. It's sour cream and onion. John. And he can say what you said. If there's flavors in it, there's garlic in it. Are you trying to kill me?
Ian. Yeah, we might, as I'm typing it out. Yeah. There's just a little bit of culinary tidbit. For those who don't know, I went to culinary school. It's awesome. I would love that in there, and regardless of how it's in there, I think Gary would be stupid enough to just simply blindly trust it. And here's the thing: if it's a test product, I've received test products way back in the day. They don't always have everything listed. What could be an allergy? They usually just have the major ones.
Yeah.
And they just warn you that it could
Yeah.
contain something that you may be allergic to.
Now, cornflakes is just blood, coagulated and uncoagulated blood.
That needs to be in the script.
Yeah. I can't. I need you to type that because I literally can't do anything but move my mouse and hope that the stream doesn't die on me.
Here you go.
I heard the beep that I've got a notification, but I didn't get the. Okay. I need to hop off. I need to restart my computer.
Okay, we can pop on and talk out of live
Later.
after this.
I
Possible.
actually have some other stuff I have to take care of. I planned on hopping in for like 20 minutes to say hey, and now it's been almost an hour.
It's been helpful. I've had a day. And I do need to tell you what's going on anyways. But I can just text it to you.
Okay.
How'd Gary fit? Well, I think we did that one actually.
I think we did, but it was kind of half-assed.
Possibly. There's a lot of the Gary series that when we go to write the comic book, which we need to sit down and do, especially if Gary's going to be animated like we want, we need to do the comic book first because that would allow us to have that storyboard, to be honest, already done.
And also kind of establish what the art's going to look like.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. Okay. I'm going to hop off by pressing the power button on my computer until it turns off. That's all I can do right now.
So if you get stuck, I'll remove you from the stream.
Yeah, okay. Good night, everybody.
All
Hope
right.
you all have a good night, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Take care.
Right.
And Toa, I didn't get to say this. Like, by all means, if you want to send it. If there's a lot of stuff that I'm gonna have to do to build it, then so be it. If I need to paint it. Wait, seriously?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. John is still.
There it goes. I think it worked.
John is.
He's still in there. I'm just going to see if it'll eventually pop out. But it looks like it finally worked. It just took a while for him to reset the computer. Now I just see John. Well, yeah, for just a second. I'll send you a nice set of nippers to build it with too. I have, because of the 3D printing, nippers. Although yours are probably going to be nicer than these. These are like they're flush cutters, but they're like the cheap ones that you get for 3D printing. Yeah, I have an idea how to rewrite the comic. I have an idea of how to rewrite it. But the biggest thing is, using established characters means that we virtually can't do a fan comic. So we'd have to take out all the established characters that are in the series, which won't be hard, if I'm to be honest, because Gary was made out of necessity for the writer's strike. So like 90% of the storyline doesn't have Gary anywhere that he needs to be. And we could change it the way we want to change it. And then like if things progress, then we can work on getting the rights to use certain characters and stuff. So Levi, about that Stitch. Well, I am losing track of the chat all of a sudden. I'll send you a nice set of nippers. The last thing. Bye, Chris. He's frozen. Skynet moment. Never mind. Just reset. God hand. It will be. God hand. It will be. Okay. Remember the reason it's called Warhammer 40K because you put that in your army. Does black pudding have garlic? Because I'm poor. Because of poor vampires. So Levi about snitch. No. For Toa, if you're just handling context battles law. Oh yeah. I remember that one. I remember that lawsuit. Chance. Natural. We need to do more. A wider range of characters. We really do. Also. I'm probably going to call it a night here soon, too, because I ran out of fuel in my heater and I don't have the money. And donating to this stream, I won't see that money for a while. So I'm getting cold. Well, it's 8 o'clock, so now we're battling the nighttime cold. Battling the daytime cold, that electric heater works relatively well, but I don't want people to donate to the GoFundMe unless they really want to. And a lot of that money's been going towards like bills. Take the coughing kiddo with you. Yes, I will. Probably go watch some Iron Man or something. Although I think he finished it. Nighters, Levi, keep warm. Question. Any reason Buffy and Scooby's don't use Acme products? They use Villain products. I don't see why they wouldn't use Acme products, but that's two separate companies. We need to finish that lore out. Did I just hear a chicken? You heard kiddo. Wednesday in Texas supposed to drop 22. It is 31 degrees out right now. And it's do you go ahead and get your stuff and go ahead and head upstairs. I'll be upstairs in a minute. And tell me what the temperature is on your way out real quick. And because I need to take the wallets up there. And originally I wasn't gonna be live this long. I was gonna talk about the stuff I wanted to talk about and then pop off. And we had that thing stayed on all day. I got a bunch of stuff done. I forgot to finish editing. Shit.
It's 62.
It's 62 for now. Yeah. I'm not gonna be able to finish editing this. I'm gonna back this up real quick is what I'm gonna do. Upload this to the space, and then when my spouse is working, I'll edit on their computer and get it done on their computer. We're upstairs where it's warm, but I won't be live to finish it off. Edit tomorrow. I can edit today. It'll just be upstairs. It's only 40 degrees. No, it's cold. It's gonna rapidly get cold down here, even with that little heater. It'll just be a little bit. Hanging with friends works wondering. Yeah, that helped out tremendously. And like Chris was saying earlier, like I felt like, bringing the wonder and joy back into this, even though this is a job, is huge. So seeing Chris be so happy making this, even with the feedback that I was giving him, I'm really happy about. And I really want to see what Chris creates and does. And, the Stitch video is something that we get to have a little fun with and stuff like that. So I'm really happy to see all that. Fucking cool. I'm going to wait until a 2-hour marker. Is anyone here? We have Mr. White on Twitch. Do we have anyone else on Twitch besides Mr. White? Real quick. We'll get some. How many viewers do we have over on Twitch? We have 7 people on Twitch. If like half of you all of a sudden pop onto Twitch for like the next 3 to 5 minutes and just start chatting up a storm, we could do that. Ooh, it's chilly. It's starting to drop very rapidly. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to making the comic. The biggest thing is Gary is 100%. It is Chris's character. And we jumped together and we made this character, but Chris has an idea of what he wants to look like. He has an idea of what he wants to sound like. We kind of had an idea and how I thought Gary sounded like and how I thought Gary looked like was very close to Chris, but I could not mimic. I don't think I did a good enough voice. When I did Gary voice, the biggest problem I have is holding it, and I would need to practice it and practice it and practice it to really get it down. And then I can drop the voice. I've gotten better at that. But I slip into an accent very easy when I start thinking of a vampire. So hopped over. Very good show. Good food, good stream, good people. What are you making for breakfast on Wednesday? I don't know. Probably something with eggs, to be honest, because I still have some eggs and I'm gonna need to use them up. Doesn't no. The Gary voice doesn't hurt. Gary's voice is just my natural speaking voice. Like, this is not my natural speaking voice, technically speaking. I mask a lot without meaning to, and I just need to drop and get used to being down at the lower register. Gary's voice is a little bit lower than I normally am, but in order for me to actually hold it and actually keep the like totally tubular dude kind of voice, I had to practice, and then I had to like, dude, I had to listen to Bill and Ted and the excellent adventure that they went on. And then I had to hold it. And then on top of that, because I couldn't quite make it as deep as what Chris was really thinking and wanting, we tweaked my voice up just as tad. And it was like right there. But at the same time, like going back and looking at it, we're not sure if that's where we want Gary. And I understand why. And then Gary needs to have like different voices too. Like depending on what version of Gary you're talking to. I like the idea of a surfer type vampire that doesn't care and that's goofy and stupid, but at the same time was really competent back in the day. He just couldn't transfer, like when technology went up, like I couldn't keep up with the times, man. But like, oh man, I loved the 70s and 80s. Those were my times. And like when the waves hit, oh man, it was perfect. So yeah, righteous dude. It was an excellent time to live. Early 90s was, really cool and radical as well. But like things were changing so rapidly and I just couldn't keep up. And then they came out with this like thing that you could hold in your hand. And it was totally awesome that like everything was available to you. But like, I just don't know how it works, man. The deeper I go, the more it hurts because I'm not used to it. So what was Stitch doing that made you storm out like that? Vance. You got to watch the skit. The thing about it is it's not that one incident. It is multiple things leading up to that. And I say it at the beginning of the video. Each video I've done of Stitch, like I'm calling back the previous video because I'm trying to find him. I'm trying to like track him down, man. It's totally just one of those things that's been really difficult to do and get a hold of him. And that's what it boils down to, was that like as I was trying to, what I should do to get used to being in the Gary voice and doing the total tubular and all that stuff. Like we do a stream and we have like the certain words I need to get used to saying in a sentence and how to say them, and just do the entire stream in his voice while playing a game and talking to you guys. Well, they can see perfectly technically, but it is still water. And that's the thing. The thing is, like, people don't understand, like, they can cross an ocean. They could totally there's a lot of things they could do. It was actually specific vampires that had an issue with crossing running water. And I think that's really cool because it tells you what type of vampire Gary is at that point. Gary can travel on water. And no one really asked how he can do that yet. So it's a issue for specific vampires. I'd have to look it up again, but there were vampires that didn't have an issue with it. And it'd be funny if Gary is like a mixture of a vampire, right? And also the lore isn't consistent, and it's a vampire. We can kind of do whatever we want from the lore. Oh, that'd be a fun one to do. But we gave Gary the ability to travel on water a while ago, and he bit a whale on the and caused issue. And that's got to be in the comic. I'm going to be honest. I was like, you bit a whale on the no spot. Kind of. Yeah, exactly. Annie, didn't I already answer this a while ago? I feel like I answered this. I did. Since he turned himself, so it could be yeah, that's another thing. Since he turned around and turned himself, like it was a circle of things. I became my own. I grandfathered myself into being a vampire, dude. Oh, we're popping off here in a minute. I just wanted to get as many people as we could over into the Twitch stream. We have 7 right now. Get a bunch of people talking. Let's take a look at that analytic. Actually, let's see if we got an updated analytics real quick. It's still only saying 1.7 out of 3. We're just gonna have to continue to build that, continue to get you guys over on Twitch and get that affiliate unlocked. Get affiliate unlocked, then we work on getting partners where the real money is on Twitch, but affiliate is like huge because it really like starts jumping into there. We can do watch parties and games and stuff like that once that's unlocked. And that'll add another stream of revenue. Yeah, you can totally flood the chat if you want to. Worse than Fry, he's his own father. Blood is illogical. He pulled a Fry. I am my own grandpa. Now we need my own vampire song. Oh, that's funny. I need to make emotes for Twitch too. Like we have, like once we get affiliate and I can put our own emotes, we actually have emotes made, but they're not made with like the current stuff. So I'd have to reach out and get some emotes made and stuff. Well, we could totally do that because we have some stuff drawn up already. I can feel the temperature dropping. So I'm gonna give it until 2:10, and then we're gonna pop off because I'm getting cold. It's chilly. I'm gonna go upstairs in a couple minutes here and get out of the cold and not worry about it. I don't have enough fuel for more than another day or two. That means I don't have enough fuel. Oh, shit. Because I screwed up. What happened was like for like 3 to 4 hours, the heater was on and we forgot about it, and so it burned fuel. And then I burned a bunch of fuel in the larger one. We didn't know how fast it burned the fuel. It warmed up the entire garage. We have a large one that will warm up the entire garage if I need the entire garage being warm. That was a mistake though, because it went through like half of my fuel versus 1/4 of my fuel, or 1/3 actually. I'm hoping I have enough because I use kerosene to heat the majority of my office right now. You guys are just spamming it. 9:43 here. So we got about 2 more minutes. What if we did? Okay, you guys already did it. Ponfar is going Tombo crazy. Kerosene fuel. You can't ship that by Amazon. I have to buy that through other stuff, and you cannot whatsoever send that to the PO box. It's a flammable object. You can't ship that to the. I can buy it and have it shipped to me, but like I have to do that. I have to buy it like at Home Depot or something like that. I have to buy a significant amount of it, and I don't have a hose anymore. I have to tip and pour, and I can't do 5 gallons. I can only do like. Okay, good. Don't ship me kerosene. It's like $30 for 2.5 gallons. I think a little over 30 after taxes. Now that 2.5 gallons, if I'm in my office, like a significant amount, won't last very long. But depends on what time I'm in the office. If we're doing a late night stream, that's going to last maybe like 4 hours a day. If we did 4 hour streams, we're looking at 2 to 3 days, which is, the average stream stuff. I could probably drag it out a little bit further. I tried the electric stove or electric heaters that kick the breakers. We have an electric issue here. It just doesn't. I was gonna see if there's a gift. Oh, yeah, I could get a propane one. That's a bit harder. Get a stove that burns hopes, dreams, and wishes. It'll never go out. Yeah. All right. So it's 210. My stove would last forever, right? All right, everyone. I want to thank you again for joining in. Thank you so much for chatting. As a truck driver, I'm going to ask you all nicely. Please don't. Hi. Oh goodness. Thank you again, everyone. Have an Acme night. Have an Acme night. Have an Acme night as part of the villain. Have an Acme night. Will be retroactively built to your account. Have an Acme night. Remember to take it one breath, one step, one day at a time. I wish you all peace of mind, serenity of your body and spirit, and harmony among others. And until the winds blow your sails my way again, have a great day.